Hello, Radica and Karis family. I am so glad that we are all back together at school after 5 months apart. For those of you who have not yet met, my name is Casey Mixon, and I have the joy and the absolute privilege of working with the choirs at both campuses of Briarwood Christian School. You know, I've been working with choirs for over 20 years at this point, in the church setting and in the public school setting and in the Christian school setting. And even as a little girl, my mom tells a story of me asking my granddaddy to build me a little kid-sized music stand as an elementary school student so I could play choir. So yeah, I know it's a little weird, but what that means is that early in my life, the Lord put a calling on my life and a desire in my heart and a passion for serving Him and serving kids and families through music, specifically choral music. So it's just such a privilege to get to do that every day. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia in a Christian home, and then in 9th grade, actually on a church choir retreat, I surrendered my life to the Lord and have been walking with Him through all the hills and valleys of life for all the years since then. I went to Stanford University and met my husband Joel there. Joel was majoring both in pre-med and music, so we got to spend some time together in the music world, and you will get to know him this year because he will be playing the piano for us as we perform and compete throughout the year. We have 2 kiddos. Ashby is a junior at Briarwood and Sam is a 6th grader, and we're all just so grateful to be a part of the Briarwood Christian School family. Now, as we know, 2020 is a different kind of year, which means a different kind of experience in some ways for choir this year, but in some ways things will be very much the same. We are typically groups, Karis and Radica, that do a Christmas concert together and that then compete in show choir competitions throughout the Southeast in January and February, and then we prepare for a huge spring concert, usually in April. Well, we are taking life in all areas a day at a time right now, but we are preparing as if all of those things will happen. I hope that your students have come home talking to you about our competition show themes. For Radica, the theme is upside down, and the concept is, what do you do when trauma or crisis or something hard comes into your life? Where do you turn? And ultimately, we turn to the Lord, of course, in Christian community, in the gift of people coming around us in those moments. And in Karis, our show is entitled Royals, and there's a fictitious story that's told about a main character who comes up and wants to take over and becomes the queen of this made-up village or town. And as she takes power, realizes really she cannot control everything herself. And so that is a great parallel for all of us in our lives as we try to take control of things and realize we really cannot handle it. As I pray through show choir themes the summer before, I pray that the Lord will reveal themes that are meaty themes that we can dig into, that have eternal value and eternal truth. So we're not spinning our wheels only working on excellent choreography, only working on fantastic vocals, but we are digging into truth throughout the year that the students will then take with them into life. So that is my prayer and my hope as we go through these shows and as we work hard, that we will dig in deeper as a group and in small groups to the truth of the value of remembering we never really were in control. When the hard times come, we trust the Lord that He always was and still is. So those are my hopes as we move forward with our themes and as we move forward with gorgeous gospel truth and Christmas music, that we're constantly pointing kids to Him in a time that is uncertain, that He is certain, that when they come down into the choir room, not only can they take a deep breath from the academic stresses and pressures of the day, but that we can work for excellence unto the Lord as we are doing things that He has gifted these kids to do. And let me tell you something, I love them, and I love working with them and watching them come to know the Lord in deeper ways and come to develop their giftings in deeper ways. And I can promise you one thing that will not change in 2020 is my desire to encourage them and my desire to watch them encourage one another in a safe space. I only have 3 rules. Number 1, I will respect them. Number 2, they will respect me. And number 3, they will respect each other. And it's incredible to watch them truly become like a little family within the Briarwood family. In terms of the nuts and bolts of rehearsals, I give participation type grades, rehearsal attentiveness grades, as long as they bring their music to class, as long as they're tuned in, as long as they're asking questions that pertain to the group, as long as they're listening to their senior leadership. They start with a 100 in that smaller category, and the only way that it would go down is if they forget their music one day, or if they're not attentive and paying attention and causing other people to not be able to get the work done that we need to do. The larger grades come from assessments of choreography. Once we learn that, assessments of vocal knowledge, once we get into more nuts and bolts of vocal performance, of vocal production, and of learning specific pieces for concerts, and we evaluate them throughout the semester. The largest grades come from, of course, participation in concerts and in competitions. Attendance to those things is absolutely mandatory, of course, unless there is illness or something else unexpected. There's a syllabus on RenWeb. Most of my communication will come to you through email. There will be a costume fee for girls and for guys, and I will be letting you know exactly what that will be soon. Again, we're taking things a day at a time, and we're having things made and music written one piece at a time, as we are making sure that competition season and those things will be happening. So I'll communicate with you consistently. Please feel free to communicate with me through email, or you can call me. I'm just going to tell you, my cell phone number is 205-616-4812. Feel free to text me. We are a team here in the choral world and choir world, and I am always available to hear your thoughts. And I ask you for your prayer as we're moving forward, that we will stay safe and healthy as a school and as a choir family. And we know the Lord has a perfect plan for this year. We know that He's going to use what we do musically, not only in the lives of our students, but in the community. And that's the beauty of doing show choir in a secular world with a gospel message. There are kids in the audience of those show choir competitions. There are parents in the audience of those show choir competitions. There are family members and friends that you will bring to those show choir competitions who would not be open to hear the gospel in a more traditional way. But even last year, we had families come up to us after our performances and say, thank you. There was something that moved me in what you did. And so our prayer throughout is not for trophies. Our prayer is not that we win competitions. Our prayer is that He is seen in all that we do as the choir family from Briarwood Christian School, representing our school, but more importantly, representing the Lord. So I'm so grateful that your kids are a part of this choir family, and I cannot wait to see what He has in store. Thank you so much for your time, and let's have a great year. Bye-bye.